following these ways are the way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is al-najah? What is survival and winning overall? According to the Quran, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنْ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Those who are slowly taken away from the fire, the hellfire at the end, and taken to Jannah, heaven, those are the winners. How to achieve this winning? Can anybody achieve this in dunya, in this life? Yes or no? No. Can you get to Jannah here in dunya? No, not in dunya. How do we achieve this? It's after we have to meet with Allah. يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسِ. We have to die and stand up back to life, face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, see the hisab, and then either one of two ways. So winning is only right, it will be decided right after meeting with Allah. When we meet with Allah, and everybody will meet with Allah. لقاء الله عز وجل, you will meet with Allah. I will meet with Allah. ما منكم إلا سيكلمه ربه ليس بينه وبينه ترجمان. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no one of you, except that Allah will talk to him with no translator in between. ما منكم, not a single person. Everybody, Allah will have to say to them. Believers, Allah will hide them. You remember, we did this and that, I covered it, I forgive you today. Other people, Allah will send them to be uncovered in front of everybody. So winning will be then. How do we win then? It's to die while having love of Allah, mahabba of Allah, and تكون عارفا بالله ومحبا لله. Is that you know Allah and you love Allah. Die in this, you will be resurrected in this, you will meet with Allah, you will have the liqa and meeting with Allah while loving Him, having mahabba in your heart, while knowing Him and loving Him and know how to please Him. Winning. You will be winning. How? The question now then is, how do we gain this mahabba and uns? This love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we gain this? دوام ذكر المحبوب. If you love somebody, X is in love with Z. What would happen? X is constantly remembering Z. Poetry going back and forth. Gifts. Talking about X is talking about Z all the time. دوام ذكر. If they don't even mention them, they are not in the radar. So mentioning دوام ذكر الله, مواظبة على ذكر الله, constant remembrance of Allah is a sign of love of Allah. Doing that constantly will obviously, is not only a sign, is a way to gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that you will gain by constantly thinking of Allah. You're constantly thinking all the time of Allah Azza wa Jalla, صفاته. أفعال. You don't think of the that, you don't think of how Allah is. Quran says He has hands. Is it like our hands in the arsh? Is He sitting on that? This is something we don't think of. We're not supposed to think of. What we think of and we have figure on, sifat, features, attributes, asma, the names of Allah, the actions of Allah. These are things that we should constantly think of all the time in order to gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَيْسَ فِي الْوُجُودِ سِوَى اللَّهِ وَأَفْعَالُ اللَّهِ. There's nothing in the existence, nothing that exists except Allah and the actions of Allah. There's nothing. We are action of Allah, the product of Allah. We are the creatures created by Allah. Every action, everything is the action of Allah. So in the whole universe, in the whole existence, there is nothing except Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, or His af'al, or His actions, azza wa jalla. Thinking of this will make us say bye-bye to the dunya. We are more concerned with the akhirah, constantly concerned with the akhirah, not with the dunya and the shahawat. We will take from this life what's necessary, what's enough. What's enough for us to reach the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to reach the winning at the end, winning when we meet with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not that we take the whole life, day and night, for ourselves and for our nafs and for satisfying ourselves away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not made for this. In order to win, logically, you have to fill all your time with dhikr Allah, all the time. What about having half and half? if we make dhikr of Allah half, 50% of our life, and the other 50% no. The Imam Ghazali is arguing here, he argues that because your nafs, if you divide it into half and half, 50% dunya, 50% akhirah, where do you think your nafs will be inclining to? You will be inclining towards this or this, dunya or akhirah? Dunya. You like to eat, you like to have money, you like to have fun, you like this and that, anything but not akhirah. So even if he said, even if you just give Allah 50%, your nafs will, the other 50% would prevail. How should we do? We should fill most of our time with dhikrullah. But obviously, this is something like if Allah gives us one way of ibadah, He didn't do this with our creation. Like He could have created us and give us one form of nutrition, one form of food, and it would have been sufficient. Maybe maybe some creatures, they just eat one thing. Allah didn't do this with our bodies. He did not give us what? Bread only. Bread. You eat bread day and night, enough? No. Did He give us 2? Did He give us 10? He gave our bodies nutritions, bread. Just bread, you can have volumes of bread. What kind of bread? What color? French, toast, this and that. So Allah gave us all of this variety. Why? Because if you eat one kind, what happens? If your wife cooked the same food 2 days in a row, right? Even if it's the best, right? So, and this is how we're made like. We're made like malal, sa'ana. We will get bored very easy. Same with ibadat. Allah did not give us, He could have given us one form of ibadat. I want you to worship me in this form. Give money. Only, that's it. You will get bored very easy. But Allah Azza wa Jalla gave us different kinds of adhkar, different kinds of ibadah, even prayers. He didn't say 2 rak'ah fajr, 2 rak'ah dhuhr. There's 2 rak'ah fajr, but there's 4 for dhuhr. But then there's 4 for us, and then 3, and then 4 again. They happen at different times. There's some common things, but even salah, within the same ibadah, different things. But then there's another form of ibadah, siyam, zakat, akhlaq. Different things. When you come to dhikr only, it's not only one dhikr. There are millions of forms of dhikr that you can do. All of that so that we don't get bored. We don't have a sa'ama or medal or buzzer or whatever. So we need to understand this, so we deal with ourselves likewise. We do one thing now. Maybe I don't do much sunnah now, but I want to do zakat. But I want to help somebody. Move to something else. This is the meaning is فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. Oh Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you're done with something, go do something else. It's not like you're done with Ramadan, there's no more ibadah. No, there's other forms of ibadah that you can do. You're done with this form, move to another form. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about dhikr and different awrad of the day. He said, or the fact that He told us to get busy most of our time remembering Him, you will see endless ayat. So many ayat. Ayat kathira jiddan. I'll mention a few. إِنَّ لَكَ فِي النَّهَارِ سَبْحًا طَوِيلًا. You have, during the day, long time to worship Allah. So, في النهار. وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ. Remember the name of Allah. During the day, you have a long day to remember the name of Allah. وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ. Remember the name of your Lord. When? بُكْرَةً. Early in the morning. وَأَصِيلًا. Late in the day. First portion of the day, later in the day. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ. And of the night. Remember Allah of the night as well. فَاسْجُدْ لَهُ. Make sujood to Him. وَسَبِّحْهُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا. Make tasbih to Him long nights. وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ قَبْلَ طُلُوعِ الشَّمْسِ. Make tasbih. Remember the name of your Lord before sunrise. وَقَبْلَ الْغُرُوبِ. And before sunset. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَسَبِّحْهُ. And of the night, make tasbih to Him. وَإِدْبَارَ السُّجُودِ. And after the sujood, make dhikr. وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ حِينَ تَقُومُ. Remember the name of your Lord when you stand up or when you wake up. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَسَبِّحْهُ وَإِدْبَارَ النُّجُومِ. إِنَّ نَاشِئَةَ اللَّيْلِ هِيَ أَشَدُّ وَطْئًا وَأَقْوَمُ قِيلًا. You have the long night to remember the name of Allah. وَمِنْ آنَاءِ اللَّيْلِ. From the different portions of the night, beginning of the night, end of the night. فَسَبِّحْ وَأَطْرَافَ النَّهَارِ. And also different portions of the day. or sides of it. أقم الصلاة طرفي النهار وزلفا من الليل. Establish prayer on both ends of the day, early in the morning towards the end of the day. وزلفا من الليل, and some portion of the night. إن الحسنات يذهبن السيئات. تتجافى جنوبهم عن المضاجع, describing those who pray to Allah constantly that their sides abandon beds. They leave the beds to stand up and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون. They used to sleep at night but a little. What are they doing? They are in ibadah to Allah. والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما. And those who are spending the night in a state of sujood instead of qiyam, in prayer to Allah. فسبحان الله حين تمسون. Subhanallah, glory to Allah when you get to the night. وحين تصبحون, and in the morning. وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين. Different portions of the night you will see reference to remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hadith, أحب عباد الله إلى الله, the most beloved servants to Allah are those الذين يراعون الشمس والقمر والأظلة لذكر الله تعالى. Those who follow the sun and the moon and the shades, different portions of the day, to remember Allah. ألم تر إلى ربك كيف مد الظل. Don't you see your Lord? How does He stand the shade? ولو شاء لجعله ساكنا. Had He will, He would have made everything still. Why did Allah create the different portions of the day? Why did He make night and day? لمن أراد, وهو الذي جعل الليل والنهار خلفة يخلفون بعضهم بعضا لمن أراد أن يذكر أو يذكر أو أراد شكورا. Allah made the night and the day succeeding one another, coming like this, for those who want to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الشمس والقمر بحسبان. Allah made them very meticulous, not just for people to study physics, like Dr. Abdul Rauf. Yes, to study physics and get to know Allah. Not just to use this for dunya. Yes, this is meant by Allah. But He said many times in the Quran, يسألونك عن الأهلة. Why does Allah put the أهلة? Why does it christen? قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج. It's mainly to be timing for people and for Hajj. Knowing the times of Salah, knowing the different portions of this ibadah here. There is Dhuhr here, there is Asr here. We do not think that Allah created all of this just for here, for dunya. Because one day Allah will remove all of it. Allah will fold everything. They are mainly created for us to help us get to know Allah and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based on the different timing, different seasons, different month, and so on. And also to use them subserviently, بشكل ثانوي, to use them to help us here in this dunya. That's why Allah created these different times. Next time, inshallah, we'll talk about the different awrad, what to do from the time you wake up until Fajr. From Fajr until the sunrise. From sunrise until Dhuhr, Dhuhr to Asr, Asr to Maghrib, Maghrib to Isha, until midnight, and the past portion of the night. These are 7 different portions, and each one of them we have certain ibadat between salah or dhikrullah and other things, all mentioned in the Quran Hadith. We talk about them next time, inshallah. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.